Yep.
It's just been just rough since September the 22nd.
Nashonda Johnson has spent the last month reflecting on the worst day of her more than 10-year career with McDonald's. It was here at the Colerain Township location near Ronald Reagan Highway where she was part of the now infamous over-the-counter food fight. Brittany Price says she waited for an incorrect food order to be fixed and eventually threw bags of food at Nashonda. Brittany suffered a shattered cheekbone and broken nose when Nashonda chucked a blender at her and it ricocheted off her face.
Her demeanor first off was just very aggressive, very intensive, and almost demeaning.
Nashonda remembers it differently.
She the one started this. It wouldn't have never went down like that if she wouldn't have never threw stuff at me.
She says it was shift change and she was in the back with the general manager verifying money. Nashonda says she asked the general manager to handle the situation so she could finish.
She was like, Nashonda, stop doing what you're doing. Just go up there and give her a refund. So I'm like, Karen, as soon as I get up there, it's finna blow up. You hear how she up there just going off cussing, just being real irate and real rude up there.
Nashonda says she could hear cussing as she approached the counter and talked with Brittany about exchanging the food. She also says only managers have the code to process refunds, which added to Brittany's more than 25-minute wait time. Nashonda says she then went to get the general manager because this situation was getting worse.
As me walking away from the register, going to the back, she just started assaulting me from the back. She threw a chocolate milk and hit me in the head with it. As I had my back turned, so I turned around, here come the apple juice, hit me in the face, all the Happy Meals in a brown paper bag. She just started going crazy. So every action have a reaction. So while I'm getting assaulted, I just picked up anything that was right there and just threw it back at her.
She says she didn't realize she threw a blender. Do you regret throwing anything?
Yeah, I do, because I miss my job. That's what I do.
As Nashonda looks for a new job, Brittany sets more doctor's appointments. It's a painful outcome.
I never had no incident like this, never, because I always be able to diffuse the situation to whatever it is, they fool wrong, we cheat them out of money, or always, it never got to this point.
Good morning, my faithful YouTube subscribers. Today is Tuesday, October the 29th. The year is 2019. Halloween is just a day away from us, and October will be over with. We have 2 months left in 2019 in the decade. And we're going to a new decade, 2020 coming up. So there are two sides to every story. So I did find a news report with a manager who threw the blender at the customer, and she tells her side of the story. You know, I watched the video, the news report, which you all will see before this, and you know, and I could be wrong, but I just do feel this manager automatically off the rip had an issue with this woman because the woman was upset. The manager really didn't care about the woman, her wait time. She was just more angry because the woman was in the store cussing and possibly acting a fool. So I wonder why the manager, when she walked up there, she knew she was coming up there to a woman who was irate. Why didn't she walk up to there and say, ma'am, let me apologize to you because you've been up here a long period of time, and I'm very, very sorry for this, and I'm just coming on shift, but I'm going to get this situation resolved, get your money back, or whatever you want to do, just give me a few more minutes. I'm very, very sorry. Had she done that, I think the situation would not have escalated so high. But I do think this manager had an issue. She didn't want to help this woman because she was pissed because this woman was already upset. Even before she came up there, she already told her boss, I don't feel like going up there. You go handle it. I don't want to be bothered with this. So I think she came up there with the wrong attitude. That's for sure. And it's coffee spilling all over the place. She came up there with the wrong attitude, and we see what happens next. She knew that woman was already angry and upset. So then, of course, she said she got hit by a milk, the back of the head. Then on the front of the head, she got hit with a apple juice. And she just grabbed the first thing she could, just immediately grabbed up something, anything she could get her hands on, and tossed it at that woman, doing severe harm to her. And she was wrong for that. So, you know, wanted to give her side of the story. I don't necessarily agree that she handled it appropriately. She could have really eliminated this entire problem by walking directly to that counter and talking to that woman and saying, "Ma'am, I am so sorry. I'm just getting here. Let's get this issue fixed." And that's all she had to say. And that would have, everything would have went down from there. Everybody's temperature would have went down. But that woman, the manager, she was not feeling it. And she was not really about to do no customer service. And she knew that she according to her, she was going to give a refund. She just was not in a good mood, And so you have two women, both of them, unfortunately, two sisters. Both of them not in the happiest moment of their lives over at McDonald's over some cheap McDonald's food. That's the thing that kind of irritates me. I don't know. I'm just different because I'm not going to be fighting with nobody in no restaurant. I'm cleaning this coffee mess. I'm not going to be fighting with nobody in no restaurant or McDonald's or wherever over no cheap damn hamburger. If I was a manager, I would have said, "Man, we going to replace this." I would have got that shit replaced so damn fast. I would have made sure all that stuff was replaced or get this money a refund. I've always been that type of person. Either give them a refund or replace the food. What's the point? Why are we up here arguing and ruining our day over something? Sometimes some stuff can be really, you can just bring it down a notch or two. But that is one of the reasons why I tend to avoid McDonald's because, just my thoughts, I think that manager is very ghetto. And I think she's very ghetto. She said she had worked for McDonald's for 10 years. And it looks like she felt like certain people get into these jobs and they just get comfortable. And there's a certain mentality. That's why when I worked at TJ Maxx, and I very briefly in the early 2010, I worked very briefly at TJ Maxx. And some of those people have been there for years. And I realized they ain't going nowhere. And when I go back up to that store, and this is 2019, some of those employees are still there. Almost 9 years ago, 10 years ago. They're still there. So, and they were not happy people then, so I can imagine they still not happy people today. And that manager just was not a happy person. And I can imagine she possibly have been hell on earth in that McDonald's, just my opinion. Because she could have really handled this situation much different. Then when she grabbed up that blender and threw it at that woman and broke that woman's nose and eye socket and all this other stuff, she did some serious damage. So, of course, they had to fire her ass. They said, "You got to go because your ass, you don't get it, honey." They had to get rid of her ass. But, again, she made those decisions. When she walked up to that register, all she had to do was walk up to that woman and say, "I apologize. We will get this resolved. Give me a minute or two to fix this. We're right in the middle of the shift change. Would you like some ice cream cones for your kids while we wait?" Simple stuff like that. What was in your order? Let me make sure we get this right. How complicated could that have been? They didn't want to help this woman. They didn't want to help this woman. Now, of course, the woman throwing the food that's what took it to a whole, took it to a whole nother level. She didn't realize she met a match with that woman threw that blender back at her ass. Knocked her ass to the floor and she stumbled on that floor. She trying to get, I don't know if you saw the video, she tried to get up, she couldn't even get up off that damn floor. Like I said, it has never, ever, ever in my life crossed my mind to take food and throw it at a worker at a restaurant. I have bad service at a lot of places. I'm not going to throw the food at them. I just don't believe in standing up there arguing with people. I'll take that shit, throw it in trash, and go someplace else. Say, the hell with this shit. But I don't. If I walk into a fast food place and there's a large group of people and they're very busy and a lot of chaos going on, I don't hang around. Go someplace. Like I said, I like to go to restaurants where I can sit down. I prefer, if I'm going for breakfast, if I can find me an IHOP I'm not a big fan of Waffle House, but I'll go in there during the daytime. I ain't going in the Waffle House at nighttime. Too damn deadly and dangerous. Hell no. We go to Waffle House when we leave the club. No, I would rather go home and cook breakfast for us before we go stepping on the Waffle House with them other drunk bastards shooting and killing folks. But I'll go to Waffle House during the daytime. I'm not a big fan of their food, but it's breakfast. They can't really mess it up. I prefer IHOP. I know some of y'all don't particularly care for IHOP, but I prefer IHOP. I just like going to restaurants where I can sit down because I'm not in no rush. I don't have a bunch of kids. I'm not trying to get down the highway. Unless I'm on traveling on a road trip. Unless it's something I'm trying to get to the gym. I will run through McDonald's and grab 2 of them Whoppers for $6. One Whopper to eat on my way to the gym and one to finish when I get out of there drinking with a protein shake. Just depending if I haven't had a chance to really sit down and have a meal. But I'm not really, like I said, I'm not really a big fast food eater. However, it is interesting that this Sunday they are bringing back, Popeye's Chicken is bringing back that infamous chicken sandwich this Sunday. So we can see how that's going to work out. I never did get a chance to taste this chicken sandwich. I'm not a big fan of Popeye's Chicken. But everybody seems to say that chicken sandwich, if prepared correctly, is very good. Chick-fil-A's chicken sandwich is just fine with me. But you never know. Maybe my competition is on Saturday. Maybe after Saturday, Sunday, I might go hunt around for a chicken sandwich. But if there's a whole bunch of shit going on in Popeyes over that chicken sandwich, I will not be standing up in that store waiting for no doggone chicken sandwich. It ain't that damn important. I can go home and make my own damn chicken sandwich and maybe make it better. I'm not really a fried chicken sandwich eater. I like grilled chicken sandwiches, but we shall see. But yes, definitely think this woman, this manager at McDonald's, has she handled things differently, she still have her job today. The woman would not have tossed that food at her. And she wouldn't be had to pick up that blender and bash it across that woman's head. Now I wonder why they didn't charge her with assault for throwing that blender, or did they charge her? I didn't see anything in the report that said that. But I can imagine that woman has probably went down there and filed charges with the police department against her for throwing that blender. So we have to see how that's gonna play out. But she's unemployed now. I'm trying to find a job, and I don't think that's going to be too good. Man, what were you fired from your last job for? Well, I had an unruly customer, so I bashed that motherfucker across the head with the blender. A blender. Who would have ever thought you grabbed her what she could get. That was a heavy husband and threw it at her ass. However, that manager was wrong. She could have really elevated this entire situation, brought it down just by talking to the customer, apologizing, and correcting the issue. That's just my thoughts on it. Oh, this coffee good today. Anyway, that's just my thoughts. But I want you to do a follow-up video and give her the manager's opinion. So get her why she do that blender. She said she blacked out. I don't know when. I didn't even realize I threw a blender. Lying heifer. How could you not know you realized you grabbed a blender and threw it at her ass? Something right about that story. But look forward to reading you all's thoughts and opinions. Today it is Tuesday. Get out and enjoy your Tuesday, October 29th. The year is 2019. And I'm out of here. I look forward to reading you all's opinions and what you think about this manager. And could she have, the situation had to happen. Could she have ended it just by being kind to the customer, apologizing? Even if she felt she'd done nothing wrong, even if she didn't like the way the one was mad and cussing, she could have. But I do wonder, because I know our sisters, they can't get along too well with each other. Do any of y'all think that had one of these women been white, would this have continued in that manner? If that had been a white customer, or had that been a white manager, one of these, or let's just say both of them were white, would this have ended differently? I just wonder. I don't know. I'm just asking a question. Just get y'all thoughts about it. Had either one of those women been a Caucasian woman or a Hispanic woman, would it have ended differently? Could it have ended good? Or was this just a battle between two black women over a messed up order at McDonald's? I don't know. Anyway, I'm out of here. Enjoy your Tuesday. I look forward to reading y'all's comments.